Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am here today to talk about my pre-op process. And I'm going to actually break this down into two separate videos because it is a lot of information. So I hope that you all enjoy. I hope that you find it interesting. First, before I even go on through the video, I just want to say thank you everybody for watching my first video, for sharing, liking, commenting, just giving me your words of encouragement because it was needed, okay? I have been private about a lot of stuff in my life, and for me to be able to share this with everybody, it was just, I didn't know what the response would have been. So thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to some of my YouTube cousins. I want to give a shout out to Ashleyshymiller. Girl, listen. I just want to thank you so much because so many people came in my comments and mentions was like, Ashley sent me. So I feel like, you know, I'm gonna have to give you my firstborn because the response from your following has been amazing. So thank you, girl, for that. Wes from Aconnectiontv, I just want to thank you for giving me your words of encouragement as well, giving me some great feedback and some great tips as well that I have implemented and I have noted and I have taken notice of as well. I also want to thank KeemSmilez. I can't wait to see what your channel is going to evolve into. We had a great conversation the other night. So just, you know, you almost made me late for Zumba, but I thank you so much for all of the information and getting to know you a little bit more. MessyMyles, oh my god, if it wasn't for you, I would have never even probably started this particular channel at all, because I've always said, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber, and then I'd be like, no, I want to be no YouTuber. But you have always been like, girl, if you don't go ahead and do it, and you know, yes, you should do this type of video. And you know, just for you to be able to put it out there and let your people know about me, I thank you as well. Tiffany and Tanea from ThaShow, thank you so much, girls, for always encouraging me, always being there. I love you all. Happy belated birthday, Tiffany. Welcome to the club. You already know what club that is. I won't tell everybody. ThaGhettoview, thank you, girl, for welcoming me to this wonderful, wonderful world of YouTube. It is all about support, and I thank you for that. It's Rocks. Thank you also for welcoming me as well. I didn't even know that Miss Roxanne even knew who I was, but obviously she know the girl. Shoot, who knew? Also, I want to give a big shout out to Kevin and Mikhail from the Theskorpionshow. Kevin texted me and, you know, pretty much welcomed me to the family as well. So again, I want to give a big shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for your support, Jamar84, and anybody else that I forgot that is my YouTube cousins. You all know Dustin Ross. I don't know if you all know him from the podcast The Friend Zone. He is 1/3 of the Friend Zone. He also used to be a YouTuber, so he shouted me out too. So I thank you all for helping your girl out. Y'all really do mess with a young thug, okay? I am ecstatic, and I'm just so thankful. My heart is so warm and it's so humble, and I'm not even gonna cry because, you know, my gangster will not allow that to happen. So let's get into the pre-op and what actually happened during it. So first of all, let's talk about a little bit of history. Now, I could go into great detail about my history, but I'm just gonna say this. So my mother passed away at the age of 54 when I was 15 years old. From complications from diabetes. My father has had health issues, which could be, I guess, related or non-related to his weight, but eventually he had to lose weight in order to become healthy, and he had to stop, you know, some of his unhealthy ways as well. So just like growing up in any African-American household, I was privy to all of the good food. Like, my mother cooked probably 5-6 days out of 7 days. And eating out was a luxury. It was not something that was done every single day. So, you know, but when she cooked, it was all about the fried foods. And yes, the stuff cooked in lard and fat back and all that unhealthy stuff, you know. And at that age, I didn't know that. I just know it was some good food and I'm gonna eat it. Also, I always got a snack, and I got a snack like right before bed, and also when I came home from school, right when I was doing my homework. So that began the early stages of my bad eating habits. Going into college, I, you know, started to gain weight, but then I started to kind of like lose weight because as I'm on college campus, I am now walking to classes, walking back to my dorm, walking to other areas of the campus. So I kind of had no choice but to lose a little bit of weight at that particular point in time. But after college is where my weight started to pick up. I then started to gain more weight, because I started to become lazy. I'm not even on front. I started to become lazy. I became more of an introvert. I became bored. I became an emotional eater. And it was those things that kind of made this weight loss, this weight just keep going, because even after college now, it still was a habit of me to come home from work, take my clothes off, put my PJs on, cook, eat, lay up, watch TV. It was like a daily routine. And at this point, I didn't know that it was hurting me until I got to the point where I started to have anxiety and I started to have be depressed. And at this particular point is when I had to go to the doctor, and the doctor started to tell me, okay, you now have high blood pressure, you are now borderline diabetic, and your cholesterol is high, on top of you being vitamin D deficient. Who wants to hear that, considering my family history and what is in my DNA, that there are morbid, obese individuals on both sides of my family? Nobody wanted to hear that, and I don't know why in my brain I thought that it would not have happened to me. So in my late 20s is when I had to start taking medication for these ailments, and it got to the point where I was just like, I am too young for this. I then somehow came across, I mean, I've had individuals in my life that have had weight loss surgery, but that has always been the furthest thing from my mind, because I'm like, surgery is the last resort. I do not want to go under the knife at all unless I really have to, and it's an emergency. Nowhere did I think that I would be opting to personally do this on my particular own in order to lose weight. So I started to do a lot of research, and I started to investigate through my insurance company what type of program that they have, because of course I need to know how much is it going to cost me, what are the steps I'm going to have to take, what am I going to have to do before and after, how am I going to be able to maintain this, how am I even going to be able to lose weight, period. And so I had to do research on that. I talked to many of my family, friends that I knew that had the surgery. I started to, you know, Google and YouTube videos, started researching and reading different things about the surgery and you know, the disasters, the pros and cons of having the surgery. And I probably did research for about a good 2 years, because again, in my mind, it's something that I can control, and unfortunately, it just started to spiral out of control and out of my hands, and I knew that I had to do something. So when I started my one new job at the company that I'm currently at now, I had my first appointment with my primary care doctor, and before I left that room, after going over all my ailments, seeing, you know, my blood work and coming back with these tests, and her telling me, you know, these certain things that are going on with my body, and I sat there and I had to be humble and break down and say, do you think I'm a candidate for weight loss surgery? And she said, I'm glad that you said that to me, because before you got up off my table, I was going to recommend it. I wasn't going to, like, you know, just throw it out there and push it on you, but I was going to recommend it. And so now that I know that you came to me and that you're asking me about it, it's a great conversation starter. And then that's when we began to talk about the benefits of it. She even told me people in her family have had it, how much success that they have had with it. And so she gave me the telephone number to call to be able to set up my first appointment with the bariatric team, and also gave me that referral. So at that particular point, as soon as I left that office, I called the bariatric department and they scheduled me for my weight loss surgery class number 1. So with the weight loss surgery class number 1, that's when you get to meet the surgeons, you get to meet their staff, you get to meet just everybody that you're going to come in contact with over the next few months, so that your journey can be a success. They break down exactly what they expect of you, what you need to do from your end, and how you're going to get it done. Pretty much everything is on you, and that will determine your success in the program. So once that I attended the weight loss surgery class number 1, with that, it pretty much solidified that this is where I want to be. In that room with me, there were over 30 plus people in there that were obese and that wanted to have this surgery. It was just an eye-opener, and it was shocking to me that this many people are... First of all, I never really paid attention to a lot of overweight people. Hell, I didn't even know that I was over, you know what I mean? Like, I knew I was overweight, but when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see what everybody else saw. And it was just such an eye-opener to say, okay, I'm really about to do this, okay? This is probably one of the scariest moments in my entire life. Because again, I've never had to have any type of surgery outside of like oral surgery when I had to get my wisdom teeth removed or whatever. So one of the things that I did when I first left the class was I had to participate in a food class, a food prep class, which taught me how to eat. It taught me how to read labels. It taught me about portions. It taught me about, you know, what are good carbohydrates, what are bad carbohydrates, you know, how to get your proteins in, what foods have the most protein. And it was a very, very informative class, because those steps that are in that class, I still hold true and I still use today. I believe everybody should take one of those type of classes to learn how to eat, because we have been taught that you pile your plate up and you eat until all the food is gone off your plate. One of the other things I had to do was I had to take a sleep study. I had to actually come home with a device that, you know, monitored how I slept to see if I had sleep apnea. And the reason why we had to take this test was because regardless if you had mild sleep apnea or extreme sleep apnea, when you are under anesthesia, they want to make sure that you're breathing and that your airway is great. And I had to also go see a psychiatrist and talk to her and answer like 500 questions and go over those questions just to make sure that my mind was in the right place and that I didn't think that this was going to be a quick fix, because technically it is all mental. Weight loss, period, is all mental. And I had to write a letter to my surgeon. My letter was about 2 pages, single space, about everything. It was just a letter explaining why I wanted to have this surgery, what surgery I wanted to have, explaining what steps I've already taken in order to do the surgery. He wanted to know everything that I've done leading up to the surgery. So what have I tried in order to lose the weight without having weight loss surgery? And he reads each and every letter, because when he comes in here and talks to you, he points stuff out of your letter and goes over it with you, which was one of the things that I love, because it's personalizing my journey with him, because of the simple fact that, yeah, I'm trusting this man in his hands. I'm trusting my life with him, and I got to feel comfortable. And like I said before, I already did the researcher course on the surgeon that I wanted. I already, you know, did the research on the hospital I was going to be staying at. If there were any nurses underneath of him, I did research on them. Any other nutritionists, I did research on them as well. Their success rate. And one of the good things in this program also is that you have to attend 2 information sessions. And in these information sessions, you get to meet with each of the surgeons. They basically tell you what they expect of you. My surgeon, he was just straight to the point, forward. And yeah, I had to take 6 nutritionist appointments, and they had to be separated by 30 days. And I had to visit them every month, and I had to show them every month a list of all the foods that I've ate within that month. They had to see how much I ate, what I ate, and why I wasn't losing any weight. Also, I had to make sure, tell them I was doing some type of activity, because again, these are the steps that they're kind of preparing you for, because you're going to have to do this for the rest of your life after the surgery as well. I had to get a upper endoscopy, which is pretty much where they take a scope and put it down your throat, and they check your esophagus and your throat and your stomach, just to make sure that you don't have anything brewing in there, like any ulcers or anything like that, where they need to handle prior to actually opening you up and doing the surgery. And then another thing that I had to do was I had to make sure that I was clear about my primary care, and she had to do her final exam and just make sure that everything was perfect. And during this time, she had already given me my flu shot, and then also she recommended that I get a pneumonia shot. So what surgery did I decide to choose? I decided the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or some may call it in the weight loss surgery community VSG, or some of us may even call it the sleeve. And pretty much this is what it entails. So I'm going to demonstrate on Lyra, right? So it says that the vertical sleeve gastrectomy is a surgery that helps in weight loss. Duh. Okay, and pretty much the surgeon removes a large portion of your stomach and leaves you with a smaller portion of your stomach, which helps you in aiding and being able to eat smaller portions, which in return will help with weight loss. So here's what an average stomach looks like, right? Human stomach. So this is the opening from, like, you know, where the food goes down and enters into your stomach, where all here your food starts to digest and break down, and then here is where it is the end of your stomach and it starts to enter into your intestines. So what my surgeon did, he performed the surgery laparoscopically. And what that did was he had all these different like little arms where he had a camera in there, and then he had like other tools that he was able to use and perform the surgery. So what he did was he took like a clamp, and I call it like scissors. So pretty much he cut up my stomach like along like this line, right? But as he's cutting, it's also stapling everything closed together, right? On both ends. And so what he did was he removed this lighter portion out of my stomach and out of my body. He took it out and put it on the table and left me with this small darker portion of the stomach. And that's what I have. I have this part of my stomach, and it only holds about 4 ounces in total at a time. It's real difficult if you don't know how to handle your new sleeve, because now I have to, if I want to drink something, I have to wait 20 minutes after drinking something in order to eat something. Now I have to make sure that I eat my proteins first and everything else comes second, because they want to make sure, well, you have to make sure that your food is absorbed properly, and the proteins is what keeps you going and your fat burning and all that good stuff. It keeps you up and alert. I have to learn that I can't eat and drink at the same time, but also I have to wait 40 minutes now after I eat in order for me to be able to drink, because my stomach is so full and it's not going to be able to hold on to all. Again, if you're not mentally, physically, and spiritually ready for the surgery, you're not going to be successful, or any type of weight. You don't even have to have the surgery. Just if you're not those 3 things when you're just doing regular weight loss, you're not going to be successful. So again, I want to thank you all for watching my video, being interested in what I got to talk about and how I'm going through this. My next video, I'm going to break up my pre-op into 2 videos. So my next video is actually going to be about my 2 weeks prior to my surgery, and then we can start to develop and talk about after my surgery. So again, thank you for coming through. Continue to like and comment, share my videos, retweet, follow me, all that good stuff. I'm going to leave all of the links from my YouTube cousins that I mentioned in the beginning below. I'm also going to leave my personal links and everything below. And any questions that you have, again, make sure that you ask me, because I had no problem with answering those questions. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.